Alright guys, stay tuned. I'm going to show you how I designed the template and how we made this infusible ink project. And if you're part of my Facebook group, the template will be free file for you guys in the Facebook group, Kyle's Tips and How-Tos. Look for the link in the description. How I created the template for the car coasters, ceramic car coasters that I ordered on Amazon. And I'm going to show you how I did that, and I'll also share the file in my Facebook group, Kyle's Tips and How-Tos. So if you remember that, you'll get the file in there. It was very simple to make, and I will have to say though, Melody, if you're watching this video, if you all know who Melody Lane is, which I'm sure most of you will, I have an appreciation for her, for all she does, makes all those really cool files for us to make our projects, the cards, which I'm a huge paper craft person. The little tool organizer thing was very cool to make and fun to make. So I just have a new appreciation. I'm nowhere is this complicated, but I do kind of understand now how hard it is sometimes to make stuff because you have to do trial and error, lots of cuts. You know, sometimes the more difficult, of course, like the one she designs, I'm sure she wastes a lot of product trying to do the test cuts and get everything just right for us. So I do have a new appreciation for that. All right, so we need a launch design space. And it'll take a second here to do. If you guys haven't, remember, download this soon. They're going to take away the browser, which no reason to be scared. It works just like the browser. Actually, I think it works better. All right, so I've already got them designed here, but I'm going to show you how I did it. So we're going to go to Customize. Let's make this a little bigger for everyone to really see. But like I said, this is super easy to make, but it kind of gives you the idea how you can design your own products and your own templates. It's very cool. I love it. I love Design Space. So I have two different ones here. And as you see here, we have two of each because I'll explain that later on. But so my blanks that I ordered, I measured with a tape measure ruler and just got a rough idea. It's not perfect. And for infusible ink, and especially this product, you don't have to be 100% perfect, which is really nice. So what we're going to do is the blanks were right roughly between 2.5 to 2.6. And I like for mine to be overlapped a little bit on the blanks just so the color covers everything. So I opted for 2.6. It really is closer to 2.5 if you want to be dead on, or, you know, around the circle. And then down here, the little notch cut out that's on the blank, I just use another circle and I measured it to be in 0.75. It was almost 3/4 of an inch, not quite. And it was only like less than a half inch cut into them, was rough estimate. I'm not a great measurer. So that's the reason I did a lot of test cut. Well, not really a lot. I only actually ended up test cutting like 2 or 3 times. So I lucked out. Like I said, this is a very simple. We're using simple shapes and simple design. So we'll start with getting 2 circles. Put this one down here. So this is going to be our main one. And remember we did 2.6. 2.6, enter. And then what we're going to do, which this gets it, as you can see here, matches up perfectly. And this was, remember, 3/4 of an inch, so 0.75. So we'll go back up here, 0.75, enter. And what I do is I try to get the circle in between, like take one of these darker lines here. So to make this a little simpler for us, we can do this. If you guys didn't know, that's how you get rid of your grid lines. This little square right up here. So I try to just eyeball it. It's the best, you know, for this project, like I said, it does not have to be dead on, so eyeballing it is just fine. So we're trying to get in between those two. That looks pretty good centered. Because what we're going to do now is use this line down here as trying to center this one. And it only goes in maybe a half inch or, you know, 1/4 inch, I mean. So don't go in very far, but we'll go like that. Now back out. It's not quite centered. So we'll wrap it again. Go over just a little bit. And maybe a little too much, I don't know. That looks really good right there. All right, let's go in just a little bit more. Okay. And then once you think you've got it right, you know, centered, and like I said, about 1/4 of an inch in, which is not very much at all, select it all and hit slice down here. We'll take our slice pieces away. And as you can see here, it is just like it. And you can delete these. And now remember, for the infusible ink sheets, I like for it to cut it all the way out around it. So, because it just makes it easier, so you save as much as possible. So we're going to duplicate this and then select them both, align, and then always remember to attach. And now it will cut it out twice, and the cut through, instead of doing a kiss cut, it will cut it through. All right. Actually, let's do let's detach it. Let's actually make it 3. And I'll do this to the file I give everybody. I'll make it 3. So I really wanted to cut through that. Align, center, attach. All right. So, and then now for this piece, now you don't have to do this piece. And if you don't want to cut felt, that's what this is for, is felt, you can just hide it, which right up here on the eye, and I'll hide it and won't cut it. So I didn't know if some people might feel like they didn't want the ceramic to scratch their cup holder, you know, because the bottom half is kind of rough. So I wanted you guys to use it for felt, and I love using my rotary blade to cut the felt with my Cricut, which is amazing. So all we did was then take our circle here, which you can go ahead and keep it attached even too, since we wanted to cut through the felt really good. Just duplicate it again, okay? And then we're going to make it a different color so it cuts on a different mat, since we're going to be using felt and the infusible ink. And then what I did, remember the round disc, the blank was about closer to 2.5. You want your felt to be a little bit smaller than that so it's not sticking out on the edges. So we did 2.4, was about perfect. So go up here to your, here, and go 2.4, enter. And there we go, we've made this piece. And it actually will cut 3 times 2 and it cut really good through that felt. And now next I'll show you guys how it turned out. And I'm going to show you how many test cuts it did take me to do this. But like I said, it didn't take me very many at all. But if you have a very complicated, trying to make something from scratch complicated, you are going to use a lot of test cuts, which is fine. I mean, that's how you learn. And that's the best way to learn design spaces. Just play with it. You can't tear anything out. And it's a lot of fun. I love learning design space. So let's go ahead and get rid of these now. And before I go, I'm going to detach this and make one more duplicate, just so we can have it cut for your guys' file. Center and attach. Detach. Duplicate. See, it's so easy to do this. I select both again, go to align, center, and then attach again. So now it's going to cut each one 3 times, which is what I want for this project. And we'll hit save so we don't forget. Save. I'm going to show you how, after I showed you how I designed it, I'm going to show you how we do an image on it for your coaster. All right, so we're just going to pick, you want a very simple, basic design, because the more intricate it is, it's going to be very hard for something this small. Because the smaller it is, the less intricate details you want it to be. Which is a great thing to remember because it's, yeah. So, it's very hard for it to all stick and delete it. So let's do, I like that, I like that. That'd be cool too. Oh, these would be really neat monograms too to put on there. So let's just do something real basic. Let's do these. So insert image. Okay. So this is our template, so we know about what size we need it to be or where it's going to go. Let's make it a little bigger here. It's almost too big, probably. You want to leave a little bit, around the edges here. And try to get it as centered as possible. All right, looks good. So what you want to do, so it'll cut out on here and all be together, you want to hit attach. Okay. And then We'll go to make it, and I'll show you how it should look on the mats here. So this again is your felt one, so we're going to cut the felt first. And this is your infusible ink collar or mat. And this is how it's going to cut out on the infusible ink. So we're going to cut it, and I'll be back and show you guys how we apply it and how we do everything else. All right? Okay, guys. So now I'm going to show you exactly what I done on the test cuts, how it looked. So these are some of the cuts. The first one I definitely undermeasured terribly. These are the blanks here. Now these were cheap. They're like $10 and you get 6 of them. Now they didn't ship them exactly right because if you, I don't know if they show up on the camera here, some of the coating on top's been scratched pretty heavily. Especially these two are the worst ones. Several of them are okay. They look really good. So that is a risk you're going to take because they did not put anything in between these. So in shipment, obviously, they get jostled around or even in the warehouse. So remember that, though. You are taking a little bit of a risk by buying these from Amazon. So these are the blanks. And as you can see, way too small. So then I remeasured again and realized I had made a mistake. And so this was my final cut here. As you can see here, it fit really good, but it's still not 100% over the edges. So that's why I did this third cut, and it's a little bit bigger, or it goes over it just perfectly. It's going to hang over the edges. So this was, all I did was use just regular copy paper because I didn't want to use my infusible ink, of course. So anytime you're doing test cuts, always use cheap paper to see. So that's what I did there. And for the backs, for the felt, this is on them here, I just, first one I measured, which was still like the same size, see how it kind of hangs over? I didn't want that. So we had them at 2.6, so I was like, well, let's go to 2.4. And 2.4 is perfect. And you just glue it down, and you have a nice felt on the back. All right, so that's how I did that, and that was the results of doing all the test cutting and why it's so important to test cut. And I also, you can do test cuts with paper too before the felt, but I have plenty of felt, so that's why I went and did this. All right, so here's our blank. I'm going to use one of the most scratched up ones and see how it turns out. Hopefully it will work. Let's see. This is the worst one. So we've got our infusible ink here, and we've cut it. And remember how we had it cut 3 times for the circle, so it cuts through. And the top layer is just one cut. And another thing to remember, you guys, use either gloves or make sure your hands are completely dry, because I don't know if you can see there. This is from the other day. I got a little water on it, rubbed right off. So that is going to probably show up when we do the transfer. But as always, bend your mat. We can still use that. And I'm going to take this one off. And see, that's the reason why I like it to cut all the way through, because now it's, there we go. We've preheated our Easy Press here to 400 for 240 seconds. That's what Cricut recommends for ceramic. Now, in the video, I did not mirror it because this really doesn't matter that it's not mirrored. But if you have words or anything, don't forget to mirror it, because I really should have mirrored it to show you guys, but I did not. All right, let's get our tools out. And we will start to weed. And this stuff's pretty easy. Like I said, don't try not to touch too much. It's really best to have rubber gloves on. I should have done that. If you get a piece started, sometimes you just get to pull out. There we go. It just peels up. Like so. And then we'll get these out. So I kind of like weeding this stuff. It's pretty fun. Just remember to try to go fast and not to rub too much on the ink, infusible ink, because it will rub off very easily. So let's get these off to the side. And I like to try to bend it back this way, because to get a really good transfer, you want to lay as flat as possible. Get our heat-resistant tape here from Cricut. Here's our notches. So we kind of get it to where we want it to be. Okay, and then we'll get a piece here. And wrap it around. And go all the way around because you want this to be laying flat. I learned the hard way of not doing that, and it does not transfer completely. All right. Now, remember we need your mat. And then you need something to protect it, which I use. Where'd it go? I just got some watercolor paper here. So you put that on there. You remember on these, you do them upside down. So do that, and then you need your butcher paper. Cover it. And you just lay it on there. No pressure, and we'll start the timer, and I'll speed this part up so it'll go fast. Okay guys, so this is now done. We'll take it off. Now you gotta remember, ceramic is a great heat insulator and and everything. So it's gonna take a while for this to cool down. So we're gonna set here, let it cool down. Don't move it. Don't touch anything. It's still trying to transfer because remember, fusible ink turns into a gas, so you don't want that gas getting all mixed around. So you wait for it to completely cool. So we're gonna stop this video. When it completely cools, I will come back and show you guys how it turned out. All right. All right, guys. Now time for the big reveal. It's cooled down. Still a tad warm, but it's not hot at all. So remove this. And for future reference, if you ever use heat and you remove your cutting mat because it does kind of bubble up. Thankfully, mine has went down, but I forgot about that. So just a little tip there. All right, so let's peel the tape back. All right, I'm kind of nervous about this because, like I said, these are not Cricut brand. They were something I bought off of Amazon. So let's find out. I am rather impressed how well that turned out. Even with all the scuff marks on there, that turned out great. I was afraid the scuffing might have taken some of the special coating off. But now, see, I told you guys, remember that little spot I had on the infusible ink? So that's what you got to watch out for. Let's do one more here. Off the camera, I did another one, and it's cooled down too. All right, are you ready for the big reveal on this one? It's the exact same design, I just did two of them. That turned out really cool. I kind of like how it even kind of got a little light right there. As you can see, it didn't come off 100% like this one did. But it still turned out great. I love these. Now I'm going to show you guys about the backing. So remember the felt that I had you guys cut? Yep, that was about that. All I'm going to use is my Arts glitter glue here. You guys can only get this during the spring and summer and fall, as long as the temperature stays above 40. If you get it through May's Made It, which I think I have a link in my description. But it's the best glue I've ever used for my crafts. I like to shake it up a little bit. It's been setting for a little bit. And I recommend you to get the tip and neat pin that comes, it's separate. I think it's like $9 for this, but it really helps you control. So we're just going to put actual glue on this so we know where to put it. Don't have to be a whole lot. Alright, so you can see some of the glue coming through. That's fine because this stuff dries completely clear. So that'll all disappear as it dries. But this is how you put the felt on, and this is the finished product. I'm very pleased with these. Like I said, I got these on Amazon. I'll try to put a link in the description of these on there. Hopefully they'll still be like 10 bucks for 6, which I thought was a good deal. And hopefully Cricut will come out with these, because I'm sure they'll be, like I said, a lot better quality, because these were kind of scuffed up, and I don't know if it shows up still on there, but they are. But they work. I think it turned out fantastic, and hope you guys enjoyed the file if you're part of my Facebook group, Kyle's Tips and How-Tos, just like the name of my channel. So check that out. I'll have a link in my description. So as always, you guys, thank you for being here. And please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and hit the bell if you want to be notified with every video I put up. And thanks again. Bye.